What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is a beautiful day here in northern Missouri. It's, I believe, about right at 70 degrees, bluebird sky, nice breeze, and robins are bouncing around all over the place. I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see one land out here in the yard behind me during this video. Spring's definitely in the air. And with that, I know I am really starting to get serious thinking about turkey season coming. I've already resolved to myself that I will not be filling a turkey tag this year unless it is with a traditional bow. I've never even shot a turkey with a bow at all, period. Even a compound. I've tried a couple different times and just never could pull it together, but I really think that this is the year. I tagged out in Missouri last year using a shotgun and broke a several-year dry spell. So, you know, the turkey meat was in the freezer and the monkey's off the back, you know, as far as few seasons are concerned. So at this point, I'm going for the fulfillment, you know, and the thrill of the chase. But with that, and even with deer, I got to tell you that where I'm starting to go, and I guess you could say how I'm evolving in a way in this sport, the longer that I do it, all the way from, you know, switching from a compound to a recurve and so on, is the new frontier as far as I'm concerned. And we're seeing this with technology and the more modern options, you know, in the compound, and, you know, the technology that's changing with compounds. And the new frontier is sound. No matter what anybody else tells you, that's what everyone's going for. Sound and making a quieter bow is becoming #1 on everybody's list. All the bow companies are chasing it. They're pushing technology to the edge to make it happen. And I'm here to tell you that that problem, as far as I'm concerned, has been solved for thousands of years. And I'm going to get into that in this video. So Jason Sam Kobiak just recently did a video where he was talking about what he had seen based off of, you know, 70 filmed hunts, and all the data points that he collected off that pointed towards the fact that I think, you know, somewhere around 7, 8 out of 10 animals that you drop the string on are going to react to the shot, whether you realize they did or not, and I absolutely agree with that. Now, I will say that as far as, you know, discoveries that I've made and, you know, advancements for me, and I did a video in 2022 talking about why I don't use feathers when shooting a recurve bow. I use, you know, it's no surprise to you guys that I use 4 Fletch 3-inch trad vanes. I get plenty of stability out of these. I get perfect bullet like arrow flight with them. Mostly shooting off an elevated rest. I can get them to fly off of the shelf, but I prefer to, you know, ultimately end up with absolutely perfect arrow flight, which I do get by shooting an elevated rest with trad vanes. And right here I am using the Satori side plate, modular side plate system. But what I did was, if you guys have seen my past bow setup videos, I like to cut those bare weather rests in half, cut the whole top half off of it, just add the lower half with the flipper, and then I side that with some Velcro over here, and that lets that arrow get all the way back over up against the rest. So you're not shimming that arrow out even further off center. Not that I want an arrow real close to center. They're easier to tune if they're off center. You know, if you have, you know, an 1/8 inch or so proud of center, that's a good place to start for tuning. But in this situation, what I ultimately ended up with was about that, you know, 1/8 inch, 16th to 1/8 inch outside center, and it's super, you know, super slick rig, super accurate. But as far as the trad vanes are concerned, they're so quiet and they're faster, and they have so many advantages shooting out of a recurve, especially something like this. I mean, as far as, you know, between these two bows are concerned, this is space age, right? Just more modularity is all it really comes down to. This bow is perfectly tuned. It's fast, and it is very accurate. And with these trad vanes, especially, it's fairly quiet for especially compared to a compound, as a lot of you guys know. And that's one of the factors that is why I switched from a compound. It's just how quiet these bows are. And a lot of times the deer don't even know what's happened. You know, whenever you, if you miss or make a bad shot or something like that, you know, good chance you're going to be able to make a follow-up. So that's what took me down the path of trad vanes. And in 2022, I will safely say that at a minimum 3, if not all 4 of the deer that I harvested with my recurve and in the 2022 season, I stopped every one of those deer. You know, I had to do a real quiet meh, meh, like grunt to stop them. And every one of those deer, by the time the arrow had impacted them, as far as I have any memory recollection of it, and I'm able to pay pretty close attention usually, didn't move a muscle. They had no idea it was coming. I was not shooting this bow. I was shooting a different bow that was also a little bit quieter than this one. I've been struggling to quiet this bow down, as a matter of fact, which I won't get into in this video. But it was quieter than this bow even, and I was shooting trad vanes off a bare weather rest, and they just had no idea it was coming. And by the time it hit them, they were totally unaware, and they didn't run very far. So that was, as far as I'm concerned, that's an advancement in chasing the whole sound thing. I don't want animals reacting to my shots. If something's going to cost you shooting these bows for no faster than we can shoot them, it's going to be that they hear the shot coming. And from my personal experience and what I'm discovering is that there's another frontier even past this. And everybody's chasing sound, everybody's chasing quiet. But you got to remember, guys, again, I remind myself this all the time, and several of my fellow YouTubers I'm seeing are reminding the traditional community that this is a close game. Right here, I'm about 12 yards from that deer target. This is where most of my shots happen, between 12 and 15 yards. I've shot one deer that was past that, and it was about 21 yards. Every other shot's been 12 and in. So ultimately, I don't freak out real bad about what's happening past 20 yards. Do I shoot past 20? Yeah, I shoot for accuracy and perfecting form. But as far as speed, as far as a lot of things are concerned, me personally, the range I know I'm going to kill a deer at, I'm not real worried about a lot of things. Yes, I want fast. You know, if you can get some free speed, absolutely get free speed out of your setup, because you want that extra edge. As long as it doesn't come at the sacrifice of making your bow louder, free speed, like these trad vanes are quiet. They're super quiet. To me, they're quieter than feathers. I've said that before. They're super quiet. They are faster. And they do a perfectly sufficient job, especially in the weather. They don't get affected by rain or anything. So inside of 15 yards, yeah, these are way deadly option. I love trad vanes, and a lot of guys out there that are real killers do as well. But as far as for bow hunting is concerned, like I said, you see all these companies are really, the new frontier that's being chased is how quiet can they make the bow. And their compound, all these compounds that you see, I think I got an old squirrel over here trying to distract me. But I've had this big old fox squirrel hanging out in my yard for some time now. But anyway, it's all about sound, and their quietest compounds are not as quiet as even my Hoyt Satori, which to me is even a little bit loud for what I like. So I'm going to do a demonstration to you guys of why I am chasing, and for me it's a new frontier, and it's my new priority of what I care about as far as for bow hunting. and for a hunting setup, and what I think ultimately institutes the important things and what's going to aid in your success and what's going to keep animals unawares to your presence or that shot is coming until it's already too late. So first I want to do a sound, most important, I'm going to do a sound comparison. I want you guys to listen closely to this bow. Know that it's coming. Keep a memory of it. Rewind the video, replay, just so you have a good handle on it. I don't think this bow is super loud by any means to me, but it's a little louder than I want. So just pay attention to how loud it is, and then keep that in mind here just a little bit. I'll shoot one more arrow just so you can hear that. That wasn't a very good shot. I wasn't really paying attention to a spot. I was just trying to shoot. Okay, did you guys hear all that? And this quiver also, I like this quickie quiver for this bow, but I'm ultimately going to be filling it with some foam, I think, instead of just the holes that are inside of it for you to put your stuff. I'm going to fill it with foam, and I think that's going to quiet it down a little bit and take some sound out of it. But now that I've shot that bow, you guys heard how, to me, loud that is. Now let's shoot Dolly here. I affectionately named this bow Dolly because, in my opinion, it's definitely not the prettiest bow out there, and it's all painted up just like Dolly Parton. Not the prettiest and all painted up, but anyway, so listen to this bow now. They're here at the same range, about 12 yards, and you'll see why this is as far as I'm concerned, this is the new frontier, and this is what I ultimately am starting to care about. Did you guys hear that? I'm gonna shoot again. You hear how quiet that is? You can't even hardly hear it if you were, 20 feet away at all and you were listening for it. These self bows like this is a primitive self bow made out of American elm. I even have it written on the limb here, Ulmus americana, and decorated with Indian art that I made myself. And you guys seen this one of my last videos too. It does have a little bit of an arrow shelf, just barely enough of a shelf to hold the arrow, and then I actually had to put a piece of leather underneath this grip to aid in that also a little bit. But for the most part, the rest of the arrows all resting on my knuckles. And then I'm shooting wood arrows through it, obviously, because it'd be a travesty to shoot carbon arrows through this. But this combination of wood arrows and an all wood bow it's so a longbow in particular. I also make that point. The longbow part has a lot to do with it. You're not getting any string slap down here on your limbs, and this is also a B55 string. This isn't fast flight. I've got just some woolly whispers on here that I trimmed them down a little bit. They're a little bit too poofy right whenever you buy them, so I do trim them down a little bit. Just got a single knocking point for fast indexing, and it's just, I can't even begin to wrap my head around how quiet it is. And that's me being compared to shooting, used to shooting a recurve. So man, if you were to put a compound in my hands, let me take a couple shots out of it, and then put this in my hands, I don't even know what I would what I would do at this point. The loudest part of that whole shot is when it hits the target. I can't hear the arrow flying through the air. I can only hear a little tick whenever it comes through the bow. And those are near perfect shots. I truly believe that, guys, if you're willing to go all the way with traditional archery and you're willing to build your own bows, or even shoot, just switch over to like an ASL or hill style bow with no quivers on it, nothing. You know, use a back quiver, use a side quiver, stalker quiver, whatever, and shoot wood arrows. I'm convinced, and this is the way that I'm going to hunt this year. I'm dead set on that. That I will be hunting exactly like this spring and this fall, with back quiver, my wood arrows, and my bows. Because as far as sound is concerned and accuracy, both of those shots were heart shots. Don't judge me too much on those first 3 shots. They're a little bit back. Those were my cold shots, without any warm up. And I usually like to do a couple letdowns before I do any shooting. But that is a dead deer all day long. Any one of those shots is, even the bad ones. And the ones out of this bow, I don't think they would ever hear it coming, unless they were super on edge, super alert. I think a deer would be hard pressed to know that it was about to meet its demise. Ooh, hit the plastic leg that time. One thing I hate about these targets is those plastic legs. I usually aim on the leg line, or the line of that leg. That's how I shoot. So every once in a while when I shoot low, those legs are in trouble. Right there. So guys, that's what I wanted to talk to you about in this video. Just not telling you what to do, just telling you to do some of your own thinking. When it comes to serious hunting, like when it comes time for, filling tags, no more nonsense, freezer's got to get filled, something's got to go down. This is the bow that I'm going to grab. If I start hitting the struggle bus and having a tough time, this is the bow that's coming out. It's really, truthfully, it is more accurate, especially if I'm having a good day. It's fast, and it's plenty quiet to get the drop on a deer. And it's definitely more quiet still in a compound. But you may be limited a little bit more in range and capability with this bow unless you know what you're doing. But I believe for a superior hunting weapon, this is the superior hunting weapon over that recurve. So think about it, I guess. Are we de-evolving in a way as far as technology is concerned? We're chasing sound, and all these compound manufacturers, they're chasing sound and trying to make these bows quieter and quieter and quieter to thwart, the ears and the reactions of the white-tailed deer and other animals that's really a pretty tall task in the first place, because they are quick. Their muscle reflexes is it's about as fast as the eye can see. But if you can get, we're already hunting close, in my opinion, where we're supposed to be. So if you're inside 20 yards and you know how to shoot this thing, I honestly, just for the fact that I may get multiple shots for one, but that they're not going to hear it coming and not hopefully react to my arrows bad, and the the sound of my arrow coming through the air, or the hum of my bow. That's what I want, is this right here. And it hits where I look. It's a shooter. So just think about that for yourself, guys. You know, if you're looking to simplify things a little bit, and if you ultimately care more about killing deer than what's latest and greatest, I would definitely suggest that you consider looking at long bows, and then even past that, thinking about making your own all wood bows. They're light. You could pack this thing all day long. Yeah, you have to take care of it, you know, a little bit more. There's certain things you got to do with it. You don't want to leave it strung for any longer than you have to. But I think you're going to ultimately kill more deer hunting at the same ranges. So anyway, guys, that's all I had for this video. Thanks for watching and tuning in. And be sure to like and subscribe if you want to. I appreciate your all's views and support and checking out my channel. I always do. And hope you guys get out and enjoy some nice weather and get ready for the turkeys to start gobbling. So anyway, guys, I'll catch you all next time.